அதற்குள்ளாக தமிழ்நாடு சிறுபான்மை நலத்துறைக்கு இந்த ஏற்பாட்டை செய்ய சொல்லியிருப்பதால் எல்லோரையும் அவர்களால் சந்திக்க வைக்கக்கூடிய ஏற்பாட்டை செய்ய முடியவில்லை. நமக்கு அவர்கள் கூடுதலாக நேரத்தை ஒதுக்கி எல்லோரையும் சந்தித்தால் அதிகமான ஆட்சேபனைகளை எல்லோரும் சொல்லக்கூடிய ஒரு வாய்ப்பு இருக்கும். அதனால் நாம் அதைத்தான் எதிர்பார்க்கிறோம். ஆனால் அந்த கூட்டுக்குழு கூடுதலான நேரத்தை அதற்கு ஒதுக்கவில்லை. குறைவான நேரத்திலே இதுவரைக்கும் இதற்கு முன்பாக எந்த கூட்டக்குழுவும் இவ்வளவு விரைவாக இவ்வளவு அவசரமாக இதை விவாதித்திருக்க மாட்டார்கள். இவர்கள் தொடர்ந்து கூட்டத்தை நடத்தி விரைவாக அடுத்த பாராளுமன்ற கூட்டத்தொடருக்குள் இந்த சம்பந்தமான அறிக்கையை பாராளுமன்றத்தில் தாக்கல் செய்ய வேண்டும் என்பதற்காக விரைவாக இந்த கூட்டங்களை நடத்தி கொண்டிருக்கின்றார்கள். நேற்றைய தினம் மகாராஷ்டிராவிலும், இன்றைக்கு அகமதாபாத்திலும், நாளைக்கு ஹைதராபாத்திலும், அடுத்து சென்னை வந்து சென்னையிலே ஒரு 3-4 மணி நேரம் மட்டும் இங்கே உள்ள பிரதிநிதிகளை சந்தித்துவிட்டு உடனடியாக பெங்களூருக்கு பயணிக்க இருக்கின்றார்கள். இப்படி குறைவான நேரம் அவர்கள் ஒதுக்கி இருக்கின்றதால் தமிழ்நாடு சிறுபான்மை நலத்துறையால் கூடுதலான அமைப்புகளை பிரதிநிதிகளை சந்திக்க வைக்க முடியவில்லை. நிச்சயமாக சந்திக்கக்கூடியவர்கள் அதற்கான எதிர்ப்புகளை வலிமையாக பதிவு வைப்போம். அதுபோல் தமிழ்நாடு வக்ஃப் வாரியத்தினுடைய தலைவராக நான் சமீபத்தில் பொறுப்பேற்றிருக்கின்றேன். உங்களுக்கு ஒன்றை மட்டும் சொல்லிக்கொள்கின்றேன். இந்த சமூகத்திற்காக அர்ப்பணிக்கப்பட்ட அந்த சொத்துக்களுக்கு பாதுகாப்பாக அந்த சொத்துக்களுக்கு இன்றைக்கு ஜீரோ வேல்யூ செய்து அதை யாரும் பத்திரப்பதிவு செய்வதற்கு முடியாத அளவில் ஒரு தடை இருக்கின்றது. நிச்சயமாக தொடர்ந்து அந்த தடை இருக்கும். வக்ஃபு சொத்துக்கள் எப்போதும் எங்கும் முறைகேடாக பதிவு செய்வதற்கு தமிழ்நாடு வக்ஃப் வாரியம் அனுமதிக்காது. அந்த தடையை நாங்கள் தொடருவோம். தாய் சபை இந்திய யூனியன் முஸ்லீம் லீக்கிற்கு அந்த வாய்ப்பு வழங்கப்பட்டிருக்கின்ற போது கடந்த 75 ஆண்டுகளாக இந்த சமூகத்தினுடைய நலனுக்காக எப்படி தொடர்ந்து போராடி கொண்டிருக்கிறோமோ, எப்படி உழைத்திருக்கோம், அந்த வகையிலே இந்த சமுதாயத்தினுடைய சொத்துக்களை பாதுகாக்கக்கூடிய ஒரு வாரியமாக தமிழ்நாடு வக்ஃப் வாரியம் எனது தலைமையில் இப்போது இயங்கக்கூடிய வாரியம் செயல்படும். அந்த ஒரு உத்தரவாதத்தையும் இந்த சமுதாயத்திற்கு கூறி இந்த நம்முடைய தலைவர்கள் இதனுடைய விளக்கத்தை எல்லாம் உங்களுக்கு தெளிவாக சொல்லுவார்கள். அந்த வகையிலே அதையெல்லாம் முழுமையாக விளங்கி கொண்டு ஒரு அறிவார்ந்த பாதையிலே இந்த சமூகம் எப்படி நமக்கு எதிராக இது போன்ற சட்டங்கள் வருகின்ற போது நாம் எதிர்கொள்ள வேண்டும் என்கின்ற ஒரு நிலைப்பாட்டை இன்ஷா அல்லாஹ் தாய் சபை வழிநடத்தும். அந்த வகையிலே உங்கள் அனைவருக்கும் இதில் கலந்து கொள்ள வந்திருக்கக்கூடிய அனைவருக்கும் என்னுடைய நன்றிகளை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றேன். நன்றி.
வெளியில் எவ்வளோ பேர் நிற்கிறீங்க, கொஞ்சம் உள்ளே வாங்க. தலைவர்கள் எல்லா இடங்கள்லேருந்து வந்திருக்கிறாங்க, பல்வேறு வேலைகளுக்கு மத்தியில் வந்திருக்காங்க. இந்த கருத்தரங்கத்தினுடைய நோக்கமே அவங்க பேசுகிறத நீங்கள் குறிப்பெடுத்து செயல்படுத்தணுங்கிறது தான். எனவே தயவு கூர்ந்து அனைவர்களையும் உள்ளே அழைத்து வருமாறு அன்போடு கேட்டுக்கொண்டு, அடுத்ததாக பல்வேறு வேலைகளுக்கு மத்தியிலே கேரளாவினுடைய நிகழ்ச்சியையும் ஒத்தி வைத்துவிட்டு இங்கே வந்திருக்கக்கூடியவர் நம்மளுடைய தேசிய அமைப்பு செயலாளர். இந்தியாவினுடைய அனைத்து பகுதிகளுக்கும் சென்று பாதிக்கப்பட்ட சமுதாய மக்களுக்கு ஆகமான பரிகாரங்களை எல்லாம் செய்து பல நிலைகளிலும் பைத்துர் ரஹ்மா இல்லங்கள், CH முகமது கோயா சென்டரின் சார்பாக கேன்சர் உள்ளிட்ட நோயாளிகளுக்கான மருத்துவ பணிகள் என தன்னையே முழுமையாக அர்ப்பணித்துக் கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய மலப்புரம் தொகுதியினுடைய நாடாளுமன்ற உறுப்பினர் முன்னாள் கேரள கல்வி அமைச்சர் E.T. முகமது பஷீர் MP அவர்களை சிறப்புரையாற்றுமாறு அன்போடு அழைக்கின்றோம்.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Most respected beloved leader, President of Indian Union Muslim League, Khatamuddin Sahib avargal. Similarly, our most respected Abdurrahman Sahib, former minister and JPC member at that time. Similarly, other dignitaries sitting in the dais. And my dear friends, brothers and sisters, I am quite happy to be with you in participating in this discussion. At the same time, I feel fortunate to have extreme presence of some great leaders in this function. This Tamil Nadu committee of IUML is very fortunate to have such a gigantic meeting. And I congratulate you from the core of my heart for making this much of a beautiful arrangement to have a meeting like this. The best thing of this meeting is the presence of our Rahman Khan Sahib in this meeting. If you verify the leaders who are associated with this Waqf movement, the topmost name to be said is respected Sahib. Actually, Rahman Sahib, as a member in the JPC, and as a minister in the minority affairs, and as a deputy chairman of the Rajya Sabha, he did marvelous work in this. I would like to tell you that we all respect him. You really deserve congratulations for bringing such an authority in this meeting to explain the things. He wrote a letter to the MPs. I also got it. It's very touching. You all know that the amendment made on the Waqf Act in 2013, that was a milestone. He did a lot of work on that. We all appreciated it. In the Parliament, I strongly advocated for his marvelous performance in this. The great personalities like him is going to be discussed in this meeting. This subject of the day on this Waqf Amendment Bill is vital and very significant. Now see why this bill is objected and criticized. I don't want to go to the details. In short, if this bill is passed, the entire powers vested with the State Waqf Board and the National Waqf Council will be captured by Government of India. Our committee of this Waqf Board, Fatima, our sister is the member in that, our other leaders, Rahman Sahib, Abdurrahman Sahib, and these people are the members in the committee. They are having certain powers, very important powers. Powers for what? To preserve the identity of Waqf property. It's the most powerful thing. They are having an autonomy in that. As far as Waqf Board in the state is concerned, they have status of an autonomy. They have got that much of powers. It is quite unfortunate. The very crux of this bill, and why we are opposing this bill is the main reason that these powers vested with the Waqf Board and the Council can be captured by government for their political purpose. Similarly, we all know that government will easily get enough opportunities to grab the property of the Waqf. Our forefathers, they litigated this for what? Not for dunya, for our life hereafter. That was their niyat. For that only they have done this. Now, government can get this ipsy power to capture all these things. Not only that, we know that government, you see, such power, simple I will tell you. Whether when you are making a request to register a property as Waqf property, it is the powers of the Waqf Board to decide whether it is to be sanctioned or not. There are many yardsticks to evaluate that. As per this Amendment Act, this power can be exercised by the government. Whether the application should be accepted or not can be decided by the government. That kind of powers are going back to these authorities. Power means to government. In some cases, it is collector only. If a dispute comes on whether it is a property of a Waqf or another thing, what are the methodology? As per the present act, they will conduct an inquiry. This Waqf board will conduct an inquiry and they will take a decision. Now what will happen as per this act is passed? If this act is passed, such a dispute can be operated or exercised by the collector. Collector will make an inquiry whether this property is that of the government or that of Waqf. Final decision on this will be exercised by the collector. How cruel it is. Your forefathers, they make a Waqf, they dedicate it. When a dispute comes, not only that you all can very well understand, these people can create disputes. When that disputes comes in their hand, they will shape it according to their liking. Similarly, there are many, many other things. I don't want to take much of your time. Now the definitions. Definition of a Waqf. What is that? In this, as per the present act, any person can dedicate a property. Whether he is Muslim or Hindu or whoever it may be. But this government says that a Muslim, a man who was a practicing person on Islam only can dedicate a property. What is the meaning of it? Why should you have this thing? Here, they want to make another dispute. When the act says that such a donor or such dedicated person should be that of a practical experience, theoretical, not only theoretical. He should be practiced. He should be a man who practiced Islam for 5 years. Who is going to decide this? Who is going to decide whether he is Muslim as a practicing Muslim or non-practicing persons? What was the objection in giving a Hindu? If a Hindu friend decide that I will dedicate my property to Waqf, what is harm in it? It was a link for what is called the secularism also. This government want to spoil that. Similarly, you can see very different kind of disputes which may go to litigation in a big way. Similarly, the Waqf, how Waqf was documented, 50 years back or 100 years back, your forefather say, this property is submitted for Waqf. Now this government says that such Waqf, they say that it is coming under the definition of Waqf by user. They say that this Waqf by user will not be there. Not only that, they are giving a retrospective effect for that. It means giving retrospective effect for that means that such Waqf will not be valid. It means that the property handled by a Waqf years together cannot continue like that. That is another hurdle they are making. Like that, there are many, many things. Waqf properties, everything should be uploaded and should be in the government status, this thing, statistical kind of information. They say that name, address, postal encroached property released. That was his determination. That was his, because of his vision and determination. He did it and recommended it. Lot of properties are encroached. As for the Kunjalikur Sahib and other leaders, they have already arrived. So I don't want to take much of your time. I'm going to cut short. Then in that report, our Rahman Sahib said, this evacuation kind of process, getting the engroached land for the government, he made strict conditions. Similarly, years back there was a game, kind of game in this. What is that? Giving Waqf property on lease. 25 rupee, 50 rupee, 100 rupee like that, they will pay as this thing. Now what will happen? He took a decision not to have that kind of lukewarm conditions. Even if it is given on lease, it should be strictly in accordance to the market rate. That kind of thing he made. Now what the government says, what this bill says, as far as the encroachment is concerned, you will know very well, biggest encroacher of Waqf property is that government. In Delhi, other places, Mumbai, Calcutta, everywhere, Waqf properties are encroached by the government. It's not only our just saying. As per the Sachar Committee report also, they have given statistics. According to the statistics, it's very clear that this encroachment is done by the government mainly. Now what this government says now through this bill, they say that in a property used by government, if a decision is taken after that, now if a decision take that this property is Waqf property, proved it as per the law, as per the rules, also prove that it belongs to Waqf. It may be even after many years or maybe before that. Now this government says what? If it is a government controlled or government owned institution, not owned, government's possession, you cannot have a claim over that. Even it is proved that it is a property of the Waqf. As per this amendment, they cannot do it, continue it. It will be transferred or owned. It will be deemed to be government property. It means what? They are whitewashing this kind of encroachment. Rahman can report on 15th Lok Sabha said, no, it cannot be done. You have to get it released. So we made a legislation that it was the decision of the UPA government. The leaders like him did marvelous work to get it released. Many property was released. Now what happened? All this illegal occupation will go to them itself as their own inherited property like that. These kind of injustices are taking this. There are many, many things. In the old act, the Parent Act, there is a provision that the members in this board and the council should be Muslims. And CEO also should be Muslims. That is the clause in the existing act. But what this says, as a present act, that condition is completely nullified. They are not saying that the Muslims should be there. At the same time, they are saying that 2 members should be non-Muslims. What is this paradoxical kind of decision? This kind of drama they are playing. For what? To capture Waqf property and make it their own. These kind of things are there. So you have to realize, this will not end because of just a meeting like this. We have to fight it. We are bound to fight against this kind of injustice. That this may be a grand signal towards that direction. So we did it. We did it in the parliament. On behalf of IUML, we vehemently opposed the very presentation of the report. We have decided to go ahead boldly to fight against this kind of things. Not only that, we will continue our dialogue with like-minded parties. We met last week, myself and Haji Biran, we met the Chief Minister of Jharkhand. We had a very detailed discussion. Why we went? We know that there are persons like him who is not fearing before the threat of the BJP. He was very happy with our presence. Then next day what happened? Next day, Assam Chief Minister, it's a very funny thing. What he told? When our Home Minister and the Prime Minister wanted to have a discussion with this Chief Minister in Jharkhand, you have not given an appointment for us, but you have given appointment for Jinnah's Muslim League. He even said that this kind of items were there in the tea table. It is a shame for this country, a Chief Minister to speak like that. We told them, sir, we want help from the persons like you who stand for democracy and secularism. He called his wife also and grandchildren also. They introduced, they are all Muslim League people. They are working hard for the secularism and we are all proud of him, proud of them. He gave us a red carpet reception. Actually, we will continue to have our dialogue with like-minded parties to preserve the secular democracy and the protection of this Waqf property. We have decided. Our leaders will tell you the details. So I don't want to take much of your time. It is a part of ibadat. It's not a joke. It's not a thing to be compromised according to the pressure of anybody, whoever it may be, whether it is government or any forces. Certain part of thing, as a part of our ibadat, we have to preserve it. At the same time, we must have discussion with the people who believe in the democracy and this kind of things. Inshallah, we will continue this effort. I once again express my heartfelt thanks to you for hearing me. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
அற்புதமான உரை நிகழ்த்திய ஈடி பஷீர் சாஹிப் அவர்களுக்கு நன்றி. அடுத்ததாக மாநில முதன்மை துணைத் தலைவர், முன்னாள் வக்ஃப் வாரிய தலைவர், வேலூர் நாடாளுமன்றத்தினுடைய முன்னாள் உறுப்பினர் எம் அப்துல் ரஹ்மான் அவர்கள்.
அஸ்ஸலாமு அலைக்கும் வரஹ்மத்துல்லாஹி வபரகாத்துஹு. வருகை தந்திருக்கக்கூடிய நம் அனைவரின் மீதும் எல்லாம் வல்ல ஏக இறைவனின் சாந்தியும் சமாதானமும் அவனுடைய பேரருளும் பெருங்கருணையும் என்றென்றும் நின்றிலங்கட்டுமாக என்கிற பிரார்த்தனையோடு என்னுடைய வார்த்தைகளை தொடங்குகிறேன். மிகச்சிறப்பாக நம்முடைய தாய்ச்சபை பேரியக்கமாம் இந்திய யூனியன் முஸ்லீம் லீக்கின் சார்பாக நடைபெற்று கொண்டிருக்கக்கூடிய